Hi there. So today I want to show you where exactly we are going to construct the next 1000 capacity house. So the chicken house. So let's take a look at it. So this is the space. This is the space right here. I think you'll have to clear the maze. Just show this one. You have to clear some sections of the maze so that we get enough space just for building. It's supposed to be a 4 by essentially a 4 by 10, a 4 meter by 10 building. So that should be the width, and then all the way to this section. So to that, so all the way to that section, that should be the length. So this is about 10 meters in length, and it's supposed to be, a 1000 capacity house. So as I said earlier, we'll have to clear a section of those maze. I don't think they did very well. Obviously they didn't, because of I think the trees. As you can see, there are so many trees right here. Yeah, so I mean, they bring a lot of shade, and then the place is not really that fertile. So I think we'll have to get rid of that. So that is the 1000 capacity. Now the other thing, as you can see from this section right here, down here, it's a bit I mean, let me just step on this section. You can see I'm a bit low. This place is not that level, so it has to be leveled, and then I think, yeah, they'll have to level it all the way to that section so that we get a clear view of the area before we dig the holes for the construction. So let me show you some of the materials we'll be using. So right here we have some wood. This is the is it really wood? Yeah, these are the heavy. These are really quite heavy, guys. So we'll be using these as the main foundation in this case. So they're heavy. I have to keep them this way because they'll be providing the major foundation for the building, and we want to keep the building as strong as possible. I always believe that a stronger foundation means the building will last for maybe 10-15 years. So I want to construct something that will last me for that long, 10-15 years, and then after that I believe I'll have recovered all my money that I put in. So this might work, or will work definitely for us. So you normally see this building right here. This is some sort of an extension. It is not actually the chicken house. It's an extension of what sort of my garage in that purpose. So I store some junk stuff, or things that I don't really need to use in this room. Let me just show you. I think I have a project that didn't really go very well in here. So here it is. So here we go. Basically some junk. This is all of it, some junk here, some box here. Well, it's not really some junk. Some of these stuff are using it, like a stove right here. I was using the stove. If you remember watching my first videos, I used the stove. This is the stove I used to heat, provide heat for the chickens. And then some pot here, some huge pot here. They are very useful in that case. Some of these, some timber there, used timber, I mean, can be used at some point later. Now this is the box we used to carry eggs. It can carry up to 30 trays. So it's heavy. It can carry up to 30 trays of eggs. So that's a lot for one trip. And then let me show you one project that didn't really go very well, due to poor planning. So I think what you have here is some things which can be used later. I think some mesh wire there, some all-round sheets, some chicken wire. Yeah, so I was using that, but so the chickens are right there, quite scared. I mean, you can see them. It's not really bright, but it's can be seen. So they're right there at the chicken house. So this is actually an extension of the chicken house. I created this just to store. Well, initially I was using it as to store, not really to store. I was rearing here some chickens here. I think about 50 of them, but I realized that the space is too small. It's too small. It wasn't really the intended purpose to keep chickens here, but I use it as an extension just to store, or rather to keep those chicks in the first place. Different from these ones, I didn't start with these Isa brown layers. I started with the local chickens, or improved. chickens. So that's what I was doing right here. They did very well. I did sold them off just to make, have a well there, a borehole there, which I sold them, all of them, just to get the money to dig that up. So I don't know if you did see this clearly. This is some, looks like a water tank, but it's supposed to be a fish pond right here. So I started this back last year, 2023, some January there. After drilling the borehole, I realized that I had plenty of water to use to store or to use for, certain purposes like a fish pond. So I decided to venture into the fish business, but it didn't go really very well. It did not go as expected because this is a huge, it's a 3,000 liter tank. I didn't know. I think I've abandoned it just for now. I have abandoned it for now, but I'll come to it later. I realized that I did realize that to go about fish business or to enter into the fish production business, you need a lot of knowledge, and that is one of the disadvantages I had at that particular time, because I did not have plenty of that information about fish farming. So I entered the business, randomly, let's just anyhowly, with very little that I had studied. Basically online, watching some videos of guys are doing fish farming or fish production, particularly the tilapia part, and I thought that was the way to go, but I wasn't really ready for that purpose, because it turned out that these fish production guys requires quite amount of money, a huge portion of starting capital for you just to venture into that, because there's a lot of equipment you have to buy, really expensive. Some of them are really expensive, and if you go that way, just constructing something like that, it takes a lot of money, guys, out of your pockets. And if you don't have that, which is the problem I had at that time, because I did not have that money to actually finish that project or venture into that project wholesomely. So that's why I abandoned it. I was forced to abandon it and concentrate on chicken farming. I didn't want to go, maybe I'm doing chickens, and then the next part I'm doing fish. You don't want to mix those two when you're starting out as an entrepreneur, as a beginner in the business world. So you don't want to focus on 2, 3, 10 different things at once. You want to focus on one thing and one thing only, so that it grows, it becomes successful or productive, so that maybe you can take money from that particular project and then or business, and then use it for other businesses or venture into other businesses once you have gotten the experience or all that basic knowledge that you need, the full information that you need to venture into that business. So I decided to focus on poultry first. Since last year, that's what I've been doing, focusing on poultry farming, and I've gained quite a lot of experience, quite a lot of knowledge in that area. I've done so much research, I've read so much, a lot, and I can comfortably raise 1,000, 10,000, 50,000 chickens on this particular farm. So that's the goal, guys. And my advice is, don't go into focus on one particular business only. Don't focus on 1, 2, 3, 8, 10 different things you are doing at once. No, focus on one particular business only, and make sure it's productive. Go with it to the point where it is very successful, so that after you've gotten the experience, the knowledge, and the money from that particular business, you are able to use that money to actually focus on other businesses or put into other businesses, rather than focusing on so many things at once, and then you end up like this, a failed mission right there. So that's, guys, we'll be doing the construction. I'll show you the cost later, the costs associated with that chicken house, and I want to keep it as simple as possible and as cheap as possible, guys. My estimate is less than 50,000 Kenya shillings, and I'll do my best to make sure that I get to that. It accommodates that 50k, guys. So it's a 2-story building, and I have to make sure that I'll use the cheapest material possible, because which is wood in this particular area. It's very cheap here, and that's what I'll be using to make sure that it's a cheap chicken house, and you want that's what you want. That's what you want. You don't want to put all your money in the chicken house. You want to put most of your money in feeds and in the right quality of chicks. So that's where I am putting most of my money in, and not in the structure itself, because that's just a temporary thing. You can repair that later, you can improve it later, and it's not a basic as compared to saving the money for the chicks and getting quality chicks and getting quality feeds. So that's what I want to put my money on: chicks, quality chicks, and feeds. But the structure, I'll keep it as simple as possible and cheap as possible. My estimate is less than 50k, so that's what I want to go with. If it goes above that, and I'll show you guys. So keep subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.